really the music.
I can't tell you
Yeah.
how long we were number one on Reverb Nation for Lehigh Valley.
And that's
It all depends on
Yeah.
how many widgets you put out and stuff like that.
It's about
Promotion.
plays and hits
Clicks.
and clicks.
It doesn't really mean that that's just how many people are really watching.
No,
you.
they
Or
don't-
it's
they don't do that
whatever.
because
My
there's
point was this.
hitters on
Do you know how
those.
many times I entered in numbers for how many people showed up at the shows?
Yeah.
Never. Never once did I enter. My mailbox is full of them saying, you got to put in, how many people showed up at the silo.
But who's
I
really
never
looking at
fucking
that?
did it. Never once, not one time.
The silo, writing silo?
Yeah.
Oh.
But just because you got great ratings on Reverb doesn't mean much of anything other than you've got a really hardworking band member that's willing to put those widgets up everywhere so people can hit on them once in a while.
Yeah,
And
We
you,
got
There's
all
no
sorts of
place
kids
to
there.
put numbers, like,
Yeah.
I don't know who that is, but
Ever since I
Hey,
joined that,
My
it's
point
not.
is,
It's
Every
not
band
that
member
bad.
should be
We
on
got a.
for
it's
1
just-
hour.
We got an offer for a gig on Reverb
1 hour a
Nation
day.
in Milwaukee.
right.
yeah, I get those offers all the time.
Cradle of
Texas,
Filth Tour. Who else is
Well,
offering?
we're up
Who
for
else is
Cradle
offering
of Filth.
Cradle of
Drive
Filth?
14
That is
hours.
actually a
Can't
really good
guarantee you
thing.
anything.
That's a really good thing that they do at Reverb Nations. They post at different festivals like New York,
I'm hard. I'm really
Right.
good.
Delaware,
Then
Florida,
again-
Maryland, and it's like a $25 registration fee, and you can go play this and get your music out to.
I haven't
Then
seen
again,
one
I-
yet that I
then
thought
again,
that our
I do
music would
manage
fit
bands.
at.
You
So
gotta
like,
You got to pay $25.
not like everything I've submitted to in
You
Europe.
don't get back.
But you don't
Don't
get
even
that.
bother with those.
Oh, shit.
No.
Then again, I do work with
Most
one
of those
band
are
that uses
very
Reverb
hokey.
Nation.
Oh, hell no.
Very,
Oh my
very.
goodness.
I
You
work
got to
with-
remember this. The bottom line is whether we want to admit it or not, this is a business, and people
Yes.
need to make money, and there's
Money racket.
somebody's going to make money.
Yes.
And
It's
if
not
there's
the
an
band.
entry fee, if it's over $5, I don't even look at it.
Right.
I don't even look at it because that tells me if somebody needs to solicit out openly
Yeah.
to get people to kick in $10, something ain't right. There's a
Exactly.
reason
But
they
there's
need
no
to
way
do
around
that.
that.
Yep.
There's a reason that whoever is making the solicitation needs to. There's a reason. Because like real big reputable organizations, they don't need
don't need
to
to.
charge you to submit your stuff.
Well, they'll
Those are
they'll
very
actually have a
successful.
self-contained tour.
I looked
too.
into
They
that
don't
one,
have
too.
the openers.
The original question
But
was
they're
the
buy-offs.
music scene. The problem with the music scene is what he just said.
Yep.
Business.
That's true.
Business.
It's business.
Bands
Mainstream.
don't treat it like a business.
Right.
Yep.
Bands need to treat what they're doing.
Machine
as a
penalty
business.
always did.
I think
Bands need
Hold
to
on
bring
one second.
numbers.
You see
They
the
just
penalty-
need to bring the people.
Machine to Penalty originally, when we formed Machine to Penalty, it was based on a business idea and has been for now for over 3 years. We do really well at shows. With merchandise, through the roof. Like that's where we make most of our money. We don't make money at the clubs itself. We make money because we have sellable merchandise. And that's what's making us survive. That's what gets us the studio sometimes. And it gets us a lot of things. Our banners. We put it back into the band. But I agree, it is a business, and if you don't treat it like such, you're done.
And since it's contracts 15, 20, hard goods, soft goods,
And
off
he
your
brings
merch.
up a really
You know?
good
They'll
point,
take
which
it.
is they're not making a lot of money on the ticket sales or from the club. So guess what that means? Who's making the money?
The club.
The club's making a profit. So they make the profit on their merch. So it's worth it to them to get people through the door. The club wins because the club is not actually paying 50 or 60 or 70%.
They're
to
just
them.
trying to make their business money.
Right, they're trying to keep their front doors open.
I
But
did
the majority of
original
venues
metal
will
shows
take
for a
15,
year and a half
20%
over
off
at
of your
the
hard goods,
RS
soft
Club
goods
Yeah.
for your merch.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, wait, Adrian.
Yes.
Adrian's got the floor.
For a year and a half, we did metal shows every week, sometimes twice a week. And we had bands that would come in there and just bring 5, 6 people. We've had other bands where they brought 30 to 40 people. And I had bands that were making more money than me that night. I've paid bands close to $300 to play a show there. It all depends on the bands, what they can do. There's a lot of bands out there that do treat it like a business. There's too many bands that don't, that overshadow it.
And as like these guys are saying, with merchandise, if you get on any level of a national tour, if they break even, it's a miracle. If they keep it
Thank
close,
you.
it's okay. All the money is actually made from the merchandise during the tours. It's not the ticket sales. That just about covers the expense for moving
All
the
your
equipment and
sound
everything
shit,
else.
right.
Now,
Renting
now
these
they're
systems
starting
here
to
and there,
Right.
so
Because you got to rent
can't
every
look at
town
it
you
at
go
that.
to. You got to
You
rent a
can't.
system, and you got to rent
Send
engineers.
them
Now
everything to their
they're
tour.
now they're
And that's-
charging
that is what it's all about. It's a
30%
business.
off.
Yeah, it is.
I work harder at this than I do at my job, you know? I mean, on my own time.
Not only Adrian and I have
You know?
talked about, but Bob and I have talked about.
And
you
it
bring
don't
up a
end
good
up. The
point.
more success you get, the harder you gotta work, or you're gonna be gone.
National are a great thing too,
The
guys.
trick is you don't give them
Do it
the
and buy
option
on.
of taking
It
33%
gets you
of your
exposure
merchandise.
right away.
You keep the rights to all your shit. It's like, okay, we'll bring people through, and you get a majority of the door, but everything else is mine.
That's like Adrian.
This shirt,
When we sell
you don't get a
something
cut of
on
this
your
shirt.
site,
That
how
disc,
much
you don't get a
something
cut of
else,
that
do
disc.
You didn't make that.
You get the door.
Huh?
For you guys, no.
You get
Yeah,
the door.
so
Hustle
we get
contract.
everything-
When you start signing your life away, you know, you're gonna attract more bloodsuckers.
Yeah, and they'll
Exactly.
push you as far as they can.
Absolutely.
If they think you've got any green behind your ears, you're done for.
Chew you up, spit you out.
Yes, they will.
You know, it's what was the freaking Wasp album, the Crimson Idol, talking about the Chainsaw Charlie, and the Metal Machine basically chew you up, spit you out. You know, we'll whore you, we'll bleed you for everything you got,
Yeah.
because there's going to be another one coming. You know,
Don't
and if
ever let them
bands
know you
do
don't
Next in line,
what
man.
we're talking about, which is be a little savvy, approach it like a business, and it's not just looking at it as, okay, this is a business. It's, and I don't want to sound like I micromanage here, but you have to understand that I'm operating the business of Infernal Opera within the business of the local music scene, which involves the business of Hellraiser Music Group, and the business of Audio Alley, and the business of the Cherrywood, and the business of
We're all in this together.
exactly. But each person spins has their own circle that spins within the circle.
We can't be fighting each other.
Exactly.
And that's what's happening now.
And that's what
Right.
that's why we are meeting today.
You know, and even at that,
That's the
hearing
purpose
what's
of it,
going around
yeah.
the room, and something that he and I are working and cooking up is if you can get together and a few people sponsor some things and we do some showcases, regardless of who's where and who's signed
Right.
what in what area. We come to this area, you guys headline. Bring a couple of the other bands in the group and let them open up and get everybody together.
Right.
Right.
But you can't push it too much. It can't be more than once or twice a month. Then we can go to your area. Then we can go to our area, and everybody takes a turn. And you know, it's about exposure
You gotta
and
try to
playing
stay
a better
within, like, a
place,
month
because I'm tired of
before you
playing
go anywhere else.
fucking bowling alleys and wherever. You know what I mean?
If you do more than a month in one area, you're burning people out.
Right,
What's
yes.
that?
Bob mentioned it, and
Yes,
Adrian
yes.
mentioned it. It's
Somebody
about
giving the floor to somebody.
And everybody pushing each other in that area. You know, come on out, see us, see these guys. You know, good friends of ours. Let's do this. Let's get some support out here.
bands supporting bands.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what it
We're ahead
is.
of our time. Mike.
You know.
I think the main issue here is we're not getting paid right for our art, you know, and it is art and it is business that we're trying to do with these venues and stuff. And I think we need to work out some kind of deal with the venues where we can control, you know, have a little bit of control over our scene. You know, like a band discussing with like if at the Cherrywood, like Machines would go and say, hey, look, you know, we bring in numbers all the time, you know, we want to be considered, you know, and we want to be definitely put on every month, and we'll bring in the other bands or whatever like that, because
Kind of the
You
way
know,
Silver
not-
Saints-
Yeah, he's always been good like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
He's, like if I could call Dave and say, hey Dave, listen, I want this night, you know,
Mhm.
No
and I
problem.
got 3 other bands I want to bring with me.
And,
Lauren,
and
you
that's
couldn't
not,
make it here today.
and it's not because you're a real nice guy.
Yeah.
It's because you guys.
Because you got to pull. I mean,
It's because you guys have done the work. You've proven that you're a commodity. You
had the
you put in the time.
What
you
Lauren
put
is
in the
doing
sweat.
down at Grand Vermont, Lauren couldn't be here today. Lauren Fearless has an entertainment group down there, and she's booking Grand Vermont down in Atlantic City. Her deal is now she splits money equal at the door. One thing about the Cherrywood, which is always very nice, is the deal at the Wood was it was $5. What band are you here to see? I'm here to see Fleshings. I'm here to see Infernal Opera.
Yeah.
They put a little check mark on the paper at the end of the night. Hey, you
You
guys
paid
had 20
out.
people. Here's $100. You guys had 35 people. Here's
It's fair.
Yeah.
your cut.
It is fair.
What Lauren's
because
doing is
there
taking that cut
harder working bands.
across the board.
They'll
She has
put
not put it down for
billboards,
any
they'll
band.
Go
Right.
ahead.
This is
no
saying,
minimum.
I made
There's
$450
no
at the door
minimum
tonight.
or
I had
anything.
4 bands here. Here's $110 a piece.
right, we're
think
splitting it
it's
evenly.
very
Y'all get
It
something.
doesn't matter where you're from.
Exactly.
I think that one of the things that we're missing here is exactly what you said, is when you do end up getting in a venue, what are you going to do with the time that you're allotted? I mean, like, take advantage of it. Like you said, merchandising. There's also other things, you know, promoting and all that other stuff for your next gig and all that other stuff. I mean, everybody's like, once you get in, what are you doing? Like you said, if you're able to bring in 35 people, great. If you're only bringing in 5 people, well, how long are you really going to last?
Well, that's the one thing I did with Machines of Penalty, is I wanted to get a good stage presence with banners, lights, whatever.
Right.
You know, because I didn't want to be a band that just went up on stage, did your show, got your money, and left. I wanted people to remember, like, oh, that's that band that had.
Got to make it an event.
this and
type
that.
of-
Right.
Gotta
Yeah.
be
Well,
more
it's supposed to be. It's a
gotta-
show. It's entertainment.
That's exactly,
Right.
and I truly believe that it's the major part.
Oh yeah.
Music, they can like your music, but they gotta like the band.
You got to be putting on a show.
Right.
It's
Oh, absolutely
entertainment.
correct, because, like,
Stage
you know, I'm a
presence,
person
You
that
can't just
loves
play the
shows.
music because it's boring.
Right.
Because
To watch
and when
people
you think
just-
about it, what band in the 80s is still around that everybody remembers?
Right.
It's Kiss.
Because they just marketed the hell out of
Marketing
everything.
wars, yeah,
For good or bad.
Oh yeah.
you know, but they are, and you know what? They're
But
the
they are
least
here.
talented.
Right.
They don't have the best skills. Guess what?
But they're still here.
They can
They-
play
they-
the
Well,
chords.
no, not only that, the band that we were just talking about, the Misfits. Who doesn't know the Crimson Skull?
Right.
You know, and who doesn't wear it? Rappers wear
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? They
So-
like the skull. It's marketable. They, you know.
Well, so
I would say their
Everybody,
stuff's
right.
more marketed than
But it
actually
isn't
people
even
heard the
Misfits.
song.
Like,
Right.
right.
Oh yeah, I
Right.
talked to a
Black Flag
17-year-old kid and I said, do you know who they
Right
are?
there.
No.
No, it's just that cool, the skull face.
Right.
And that's
I just
not
like
even
the
theirs.
shirt,
I mean, that
man.
was stolen to begin with. Yeah,
Oh, really?
that's, it's an old movie.
But,
you know what I mean? It's old
But, you know,
movies
it
that the
gets back
Crimson
to,
Skull
like, you know,
came
maybe you
from.
might want to start thinking about what you look like on stage.
Videotaping is
And-
imperative.
and
How many
organizing.
times have you gone to see a metal act and the guy's sitting there and he's playing a bazillion notes, but he's standing in the corner and he's like this, and,
Right.
and like, big deal.
That's what I mean.
And
You
you know
got to
what?
put on
And
a
you
You
gotta
show.
gotta shake that head and wave that hair.
And
basically.
35% of the people there, how you're doing.
I'll
Right.
be there soon, all right? I got my own flat down.
I think
sooner than you expected. You know.
I think one of the good things that Sir Lovey does with the Nocturnal Witches Ball is he creates this environment. You know, it's not only him performing. You know, it's a suspension show. It's other things incorporated in with the music. It gives other people another reason to come out.
One of the
You know,
things that I wanted to tell
that-
you guys
Spectacle.
is, which is a really cool little thing. Get vendors.
Yeah.
Let them rent booths for $50 a whack.
there you go.
That pays off your freaking costs. Trust me. The other thing too is don't think about your band anymore. Think about what you would like to go see, what kind of event. Okay, so when I started thinking about the Nocturnal Witches Ball, I was the first one who brought in a suspension show, a fire act, all this stuff, and this is supposed to be for bands, and people are going, what the heck is this? But you know what? People sat there and they became so
much
freaking
eye candy.
entertained. They bought the stuff from the vendors, they watched the thing
Yep.
and said, when is this next event? Now you know what? So what happened was I was building on that. And what I try to do is I'm one of those very few people who will actually pay a band. Because I've been doing this. Because if you get vendors to offshoot the cost.
It's definitely always
Yep.
We were
I
just
got all
contacted
these
by a
people
place in
that
Philly
like
with a similar deal. Basically, it's a lot
And then
of
if you have
tattoo artists and
Yeah,
bikers.
there,
and
there we go. You know,
usually
and play
at,
with them.
An after hours club.
February 18th, the
And-
Dingbats.
So-
Yeah, and then what you do is like you say
So-
$50 a booth. They give you that goes right in your pocket.
Yep.
That goes right in your pocket.
Now, does the venue want to take extra? You rent the venue, so then the venue doesn't want to take a cut off
That's,
the
Yep.
merch.
You need a
that's
pointer,
the problem
Mike.
with doing an event
Because
like
actually,
that.
you're using
Finding
their
a
vendor's
place that'll
license in
actually
order to be able to
let you-
sell your
Yeah.
goods.
Yeah, we got to
Now-
take control.
But the other thing
If you
too is
rent
what's
it-
going to happen is if you start to create a buzz and become big enough, then you start telling them what you want. You know what I mean? As opposed like
There she is.
Right, because they
like we were
see that
doing
you're worth
like
that.
what I was doing at Freddie, like he let me in on the door for Dingbat. So what he did was he was working and he likes the whole event. So now this guy from New York goes, dude, I could use you. So I'm looking at a different venue, you know, because he's seeing that okay, you're just not this metal band that goes up there and just plays and does this stuff and then has the next metal act come up. You got something that people are just sitting there, they get up off their seat and they go up and go, wow.
I'm gonna come back with a
Ooh, I think suspension.
I mean, like, I suspend myself. I mean, the thing is and so like, the thing is
Isn't that
like,
like cheating?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be able to do that, right? Yourself?
Well, no, I have people do it.
Okay. I thought you really meant you suspend yourself.
No, but the thing is like, so like when people sit there and they see that, that's not the norm. I mean, you know what? I hate to say this about metal bands and my bands and any kind of bands. We're all the same. Okay? Seen one, seen it all. I never saw that suspension show before. I never saw that guy light himself on fire before. You know, I mean, it's worth coming back to see that again. You know, and so then what happens is you start building a venue like a freak show. It's like think of your like I thought of myself as vaudeville because we really are performers and entertainers. So why don't we become more like vaudeville?
Yeah, you got to create that. Create that environment, create that show, and find other people to help you build your show. Like what you were saying with the tattoo artists and stuff like that. You know, you put like maybe two bands on with some tattoo artists and something else like, you know, somebody who sells leather, and put that show together. Like you're, you know, like
you want to bring the chicks into your gigs.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Ask him how difficult it is to find places that'll let him do that kind of shit.
A fashion show. Sounds weird, right? But I did it, and there was just tons of girls there. And now,
that would totally work for Power Theory.
At the point of where the fashion show, there's this girl named Tristan Costa who did the wings for the Victoria's Secret group. Says, "Can I do a fashion show with you?" So the thing is what happens is, so you're bringing people in, and like you said, it's a business.
Yes, you got to expand your business.
As much as you want to stay like not mainstream and we want to stay underground, we don't want to apply to the rules. Those rules are there, and it's really difficult, and you have to learn ways around it. But like renting even a campground, I just talked to somebody last week about renting a campground. It has electric, water, a little flatbed in there, have 15, 20 bands, you know, camp out.
So I think that a lot of you people know people that know things like Enya that works with me. I mean, she's like pivotal for me. She works for Victoria's Secrets, not at the store. She is Victoria's Secrets. Okay, so what happens is you find these people and they help you build. And you build such a big event. Like my event's not that big, but I envision like maybe 2 years from now it might be something to reckon with, and I can sit there and go, dude, I'll give you $500 to play. Because I'm also a musician. So my whole idea about the vendors and all this other stuff, like you were saying, giving back and helping the bands, is that I want to make enough money so I can pay good bands.